All right, hey guys, Mitch here from the AudioDabbler YouTube channel, and I just want to take a few minutes and talk about LP-5. I just bought the full version of the Unlock the Pro version of this app and played around with it some, and there's a lot of things that I like about it a whole lot, and there's some things that I was kind of shocked that didn't have in it, but anyways. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect it via AUM. I'm going to just start a new live set. As you can see, I've just been messing around with it today. And so this is LP-5. If you have not seen it, it is free to try, and you can, it comes with some samples, and then you can purchase other sample packs going under the store. But if you want the Pro version to be able to use your own samples, record in, and everything, then it's $9.99 in-app purchase, which is not too bad of a price for 5 tracks or columns of 40 different samples. So each of the 5 tracks has 40 samples, and that's 200 samples. That's a lot, as Jacob says. But so you have 5 tracks going across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Similar to the LaunchPad app, it you can just play samples, and you can click on one. You got the factory loops. You can bring in a drum, press play, click on it, and it will play the sample, and you can. The time stretch algorithm that it has is pretty good. Let's see. So one thing it don't have is a metronome, and I was kind of surprised because I was like, okay, well, I'll just kind of use this like loopy, but it'll be more like a clip launching loopy instead of just loopy. Of course, loopy with 12 tracks can be used like a clip launcher, but this has 200, so it would be really fun, to use this almost like Ableton Live to just, build up some tracks that way. It doesn't have a metronome, and so that's why I'm using it, and that's why I decided to use it as a, oh yeah, I never did that, did I? That's why I decided to use it inside of AUM, and so what I can do, there's a little menu bar over here. You go to input, and it is an inter-app audio host. And so I've got all of this stuff all of the inter-app audio stuff that you have, but I'm going to use Chromatic's AUM port 1. And so now, if I didn't want just IM1, if I wanted other things, if I wanted the built-in microphone, run my guitar through it or whatever, I can do that and easily route it using AUM and going inside of LP-5. So that's how I kind of envision using this. And so I'm going to plug in my Arturia MK2 Minilab. And play IM1 so that way I can use it to play. And so you can use the metronome. That's what I've kind of figured. I could use the metronome inside of here if I didn't have a drum beat already. But I'll just use this for giggles here. Okay, so to record, you kind of just click and long press, and that kind of activates the clip to where you can click on one of these and it'll put it in there. You can go over, you can go to current projects. I haven't recorded anything in. You just hit the record button here. But the quantization is by this little bar up here. So if I want to go 4 bars, and then just record right here, And see, it's blinking. Okay, so you can see that it recorded. Even though there was already a track there, it recorded. So it does not overdub, which I was surprised that there's no overdubization. Because I'd like to just hit a kick and then throw in hi-hats, you know, build up a drum loop or other things slowly, but there's no way to do that. And also you can see that once it's recorded, it does not automatically start playing. You have to click on it. But I will show you that the time stretch is pretty good. It did a really good job of staying in key and not messing with it anyway. So that's that. And so you just continue to build up tracks that way. I could shift, go to pad 2. And then activate it. And then once it goes back around, it will launch in time, just like anything else, just like LaunchPad or other apps that do this similar thing. And so it's definitely not necessarily geared for live, on the fly, I would say on the fly live looping, because, you know, once you record something in, it just stops. It doesn't continue. And there's not really many options here for anything. One thing cool that you can do though is you can do inter-app audio effects. I think it's going to do exactly what it did earlier when I was messing around with it, is go to the tempo of Tornado, which also I think Future Drummer also has the issue with Link. But anyway, let's just go there. So it dropped down to 97. So go over the rest of the app now that you can get some stuff in. You have mute, you have the track volumes, and then A and B is you can either send it to A or B, and that is corresponding to the inter-app audio effect. And so if you do something like Tornado, which has, you know, just a whole bunch of effects built into it, you know, you can really get some stuff in and start remixing. You know, fun stuff like that. Let's see what else. It has a Midi, and the Midi will allow you to control some things, but I was also a little disappointed that I can't map particular pads. So you can see here in the description of the Midi, notes 48 through 87. Let me stop this. Notes 48 through 87 will launch scenes 1 through 40. And then all other notes will stop the clips, which is fine. But it doesn't seem that there's a way to directly remix with different pad options. And so if you're looking at this as a an alternative to LaunchPad, the LaunchPad app, in the sense that you want to do a performance where you have multiple ones and you want to use a Midi controller to control it because you don't want to spend the money in buying into the Novation ecosystem. This is probably not the app to look for because it just don't do that. You got 5 tracks of 40 clips, but you can only launch them scene at a time. So it's just like Gadget. You can only launch gadgets scenes at a time instead of individually. So if anybody from Korg is watching, if you want to make the ultimate app, then make Korg be able to launch the different clips independently of the scene or track that it's on, and then that would be awesome. But until then, the only app out there that I know of that can do that is the LaunchPad app, or Remix. I think there's the Remix Live or whatever that app was called. That was a pretty good one. Maybe that one will work because you can do some MIDI mapping with it. But anyway, as far as just getting, recording loops into this for a performance later on for the scenes, or if you want to just use this to accompany a guitar part, or just trigger some drums and kind of a drums and a pad, this would be great. You could get you one of the knockoff clip launching things, or just a small MIDI controller just to use to launch the clips, and it would work out great, and it would be super stable. From what I can tell, it's been stable for me for the few days that I bought it last night. But I've used it before, just not in full capacity. Seems to be fairly stable. And so yeah, there's just a few of the little caveats, but overall I would, if you're looking for a fun little loop maker that's not necessarily geared towards live use in the sense of on the fly looping, but something that you can just sit down, build up some tracks, build up some loops, then this is definitely really easy to work with, especially because you click on one and you get all the sounds, and then you can, if you want to import, you can import, and you can batch import. And so if you have all your loops already created and you don't want to use LaunchPad, you could use this and just build up your tracks, and it's just easy as just clicking on one, click on it, and then launch it once it gets around to launching it. These are just some of the factory loops. But being able to use inter-app audio effects and using Tornado, that just makes this app stand out above most of the others, because not all apps will act as a host and a inter-app audio host for effects and instruments, and being able to use this to remix a song would just be super fun if I remix songs, but I don't. And so I'll just use this for some track build-ups if I'm on the go and I don't have my laptop, because I really like the Ableton Live workflow. And so this kind of gives you that Ableton Live workflow on the iPad for, quick track building, sketchpadding. And then you can capture the output until stopped, or 64 bars. And it'll allow you to, let's just do that. Capture 1 bar. And I think it'll allow you to export it out. Yep, so you can send it. open in. So you could do until stopped. You could do capture audio until stopped, and then if you got your session loaded up, remix, effects, all that jeezy jazz and roar, and you'll be good to go. Export it out to audio share and share with the world. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this, gives you an idea, at least gives you an idea of what the LP-5, LaunchPad 5 app will do. I guess it probably stands for LaunchPad 5. LP5. I don't know. It does have Ableton Link, which is nice. But hopefully this will give you at least give you, what it will do and what it can't do. And I did email a developer about the few things that I was surprised that it didn't have the metronome and it didn't have overdub, and you couldn't launch the clips. And so you'd basically have to just continue duplicating the tracks, just like in Gadget. But you don't necessarily have to only use, Gadget stuff. This right here will do record audio from pretty much any source that you possibly want. So thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys later.